Good afternoon to all those following this first leg of SiGMA Roadshow. And I'm Heathcliff Farrugia, and today I have the pleasure and honor of having with me the first Deputy Chairman of the Advisory and Expert Council of the Commission for Regulation of Gambling and Lotteries in Ukraine. Good afternoon, Mr. Baum.
Good afternoon, Heathcliff. Nice to meet you and see you.
Same here. Interesting times for the gambling industry in Ukraine. After the Gambling Act came into force in August of last year, and the commission being set up later in October. And now we have seen even over the past days or weeks, I would say, the first gambling licenses being issued in Ukraine. I would say it's a historical time for the gambling industry in Ukraine. Mr. Baum, can you tell us a bit about the journey the Commission has been through in these first busy months, the new regulations, the license applications you're receiving, the recruitment of personnel? I would assume it's something which you need to look at as well.
Thank you for the question. Thank you for the invitation. Again, I'm very much honored and happy that SiGMA is our partner, and I actually present on the board of this advisory council that helps the Commission to implement proper policies and change something and hear the market. So our gambling implementation goes smoothly in Ukraine. So in general, yes, in October we had a voting for creating the a first act, government act, to create the commission. And yes, indeed, in basically what it was, November, December, January, after 3 months, we've been able to issue the first license and receive already the license payment into the budget. This is a historical date, so it was the 2nd of February. It was not easy, so we spoke to many, and many. You should understand how difficult it is. So yes, we are receiving a lot of compliments from the other from different commissions. It was very hard, to tell you honestly. So we started with only one head of the commission, and we were able to, in 1 month, go through all the hustle in the government, confirm the statutes, get the budget through, hire first 10 people in the commission. So the general staff is planned to be 230 people in the commission. So we were able to get 10 by the end of the year in the commission. And at that time, we did not have the building, we did not have computers, we did not have tables, we had nothing, right? And we didn't even have the budget. So in December, we had the problem even getting was like something like $5 US to buy out our domain name. So this is how we started. And to make the story short, we actually now have I think almost 50 people in the staff.
Oh, already good.
Already 50, but so it is. We have it's very hard to work. It's very limited. We are actually running ahead of the schedule and ahead of all the other expectations of the government. So we don't have the building, we don't have computers, but we already issued the license and we already got the money into the budget. So how it happens, we don't know, but we work very hard. The process goes well. There are a lot of requests.
Yes,
we're facing some challenges still, but we're working with them, and we will discuss it later. Basically, we realize that there are very many holes in the law. There are very many things in the law that are very complex and complicated. There are very many things that we cannot even explain ourselves. But the law is workable. there are outstanding issues with certification of the equipment and the online systems, but we have solved this and we have a temporary solution. So I think that next week we will have already approved documents for requirements, what should be certified and by whom.
Okay.
So which gives us, which opens the land-based market and gives them the opportunity to obtain licenses for the tables, slot machines, and roulettes.
And will you be doing the approvals yourselves, or you will be also having companies who would be specialized in doing these approvals?
By law in Ukraine, only the certified companies by the National Agency of Accreditation in Ukraine, only these companies can do it. But it's a normal procedure, so there are dozens of those companies, so it's not that it's some kind of bottleneck. So don't worry about that. So we're sending a normal message. So we will not, assign 1 or 2 companies and approve them. So it's not going to be like that. So it's going to be a very substantial list of the companies. But again, there is a problem that we need to find the ones that were authorized to do certification of a certain technical requirements. So because some of the guys can certify you said phones, and some of them are certifying industrial equipment. So there are many of those companies. Nevertheless, we already had some working groups with the market, the producers of equipment and operators. The commission, the gaming commission, must look into changing those technical requirements, make them more up to date. But this process takes basically 6 to 9 months. So, but we are offering the market a way how to do it, so they can start it, and hopefully by the end of the year we will have a modern, updated technical requirements, and they will be able to get these certifications properly. And hopefully we will manage to accept, as I said, this like GLI, BMM certificates. But of course, we are waiting for those guys to open their representative offices here. So at least we have some local, you understand, representation. But we are in negotiations with them. So they are waiting for some technical papers, and I think it will be all solved.
Well, because, for example, the companies you mentioned, and there are others, there are companies, as you correctly said, the large international companies who provide these kind of services to all jurisdictions across the globe. So obviously they would be able to also provide the services there. So that's very good even for the operators. And then, like many other jurisdictions, you will have also a mix of even local companies who would also be able to offer the same services. So that's very good.
Once they know how to do it, and
exactly,
so they will enter the market. But why we should deprive? We don't know how to do the RNGs here. So why should we wait till one company gets some expertise in this? So we're working in this direction very actively. So, but again, there were we had this clause in the law that we have postponed the certification process for 1 year, but unfortunately, due to these delays in the parliament, so we lost this year in vain. And so there was a clause that the certification comes into force from 1st of January 2021. But we were supposed to vote, as you remember, probably in 2020 in the winter.
Yes.
So we just lost that year. So okay, now we found the way how to do it, but within 1 year we will put everything in place. So we don't see the problem here. With regards to the taxes, so very important issue. So I want I can officially now say this, and I'm mistaken. So next Monday, there will be held a parliament committee, the tax committee, which is responsible for these tax changes, and we will approve a new changes in already approved tax the amendments of the taxes, and this is the law number 2713D that everyone knows. And the
And
changes
these will be the final ones, so
these are
they will
going
be
to
the
be
final ones.
They're going to be the
Okay.
final ones, and the major points are the following: the equal GGR of 10% for each activity, a tax-free on the winnings up to $2,200. Above that, the operators become the agents, and they will have to withhold 19.5%. There will be no triple license, and the GGR will be immediately introduced, and no triple license.
When you say triple license, because the initial plan that they were tripling the license fee after after the initial stage. All right, so that was removed.
That was removed because we think
that's very good news for the operators and for the industry.
That's very good news. So they can invest this money into the marketing and everywhere, instead of just paying, you know, this. So we think that this will show our willingness actually to open the market. So this is going to be done. I really hope that we were discussing this, but that the first voting will be by the end of the March, or by the end of the February. So by the end of the March, this law will go into effect. But again, let's see how the indication goes. I want to give the indication to the market. We will definitely speak about this, and SiGMA will definitely announce this important thing about the changes in the taxation. So you will know about this next week, which is good news. And
very good.
What else? Another important thing that we were discussing, and everyone is kind of a little bit afraid, is this issue with the servers. But again, we where the servers must be. But again, we are trying to explain to the operators, and we will have this explanation officially by the commission. When this clause was put into the law, the people didn't actually understand what they were talking about. Okay, so, and we divide this issue with the servers. Again, the position is the following: if the operator, and the operator must be the local company with the local account and is servicing local clients, they of course will have their own servers in Ukraine. So why do you want to have your accounting somewhere in Pennsylvania on the Amazon servers, right? So you must have your financial and your information in Ukraine. We understand that. Okay, so these servers, that information must be kept in Ukraine. What people worry about is whether Playtech or EGT or Novomatic has to store their content, right, and their servers in Ukraine, but of course not. All right, so their content and their games must be on the servers where they want them to be.
Yeah, usually at least in Europe, a number of countries, number of jurisdictions work with what they call a mirror server. So you would have, because a number of operators do use cloud, and then what they do is they mirror what we call, or what regulators call, the critical data. So the regulator has, like you mentioned, the financial data, the player transactions, so the data which would be considered critical. That has to be either, even if it's on cloud, it has to be replicated on a live server in the data center in that particular jurisdiction. And the regulator would have a direct access to that replication server, because if the regulator needs to access data, then obviously they need to be able to access the data there and then.
Heathcliff, this is exactly how we are going to write the explanation. So we want, this is our message, right? Although Ukraine is now transforming and changing, right? So we want to, and this law, we hope will change a little perception of Ukraine as well, and how the government treats businesses, right? We want to be open, we want to be transparent. So these things and these limitations, which are has a dual meaning, right? We will never, I promise you, use against business. So whatever is doubtful or has questions will always be treated and decided in favor of the operator. So we're not going after the guy saying, listen, oh, where is your server? Oh, it's not here. Well, we're taking your license away. So we're not going to do it. We understand that the market must develop. Once, we will clarify which data we want, what data we want to see. So I very responsibly declare that it's not going to happen. No one is going to show up at the doors of the operators claiming, okay, where is your computer? And so this is a very message that we will promote, and we want to say to everyone, please come to Ukraine, right? Of course, you need to be secure, right? But there are no things we're trying to trap or, God forgive me, that there will be some doors for the corruption or any other things. No, we don't want to do it.
No, definitely. So, Mr. Baum, because the time has literally flew by. Just if I can conclude, I believe that from the discussion we had and from the feedback I got through this brief interview, I think it's very, very clear, even for operators or for those who want to look at Ukraine, that I would say Ukraine is open for business. And the approach I can see from the way you are talking is that you want to have a collaborative approach with the operators, obviously, always in line and respecting all the international regulations. And I don't know if you agree with this statement.
100% agree with the statement. Moreover, so I would like to just spare 1 minute and discuss this expert consulting board that we have created under the commission, where representatives of SiGMA are present. So this advisory board is an official body that has to advise the Gambling Commission in terms of the paperwork, the laws, and changes in the laws and in the operations. And this advisory board is formed from the business and from the operators. So they look at us as the expert board. So they will not they're not coming up with some ideas that and again, you understand that the commission we didn't have this, well, we haven't had this business officially for 11 years, the gambling business. So what we hired we found the people whose professionalism is in their ethics, and the lawyers. That was important to us. So they're implementing this law, but this consulting body is the expert body, because we cannot hire by law you in the commission, because that's the government worker. You understand that? So this is a very clear message to the business and the future operators that they will be heard. They have the body where they can come in and make a suggestion what to change. And I can assure you that these things will be changed later on. And that everything is understandable, clean, and perfect. So we want to create the best conditions for the operators in Ukraine.
Very good. Mr. Baum, on that, I think we can conclude this brief interview. I thank you very much for finding the time in such a busy period for Ukraine. And I wish you luck with the plans you have for the Ukrainian gambling industry. Good day.
Thank you so much, and hoping to see you soon in Kiev.
Thanks. It will be my pleasure. Thanks.